Hi ladies, welcome back to Active with Amy. I wanted to specifically touch on a subject: loss of hair after having a baby. My story with this is quite simple. I lost hair with both of my children quite vigorously as well, to the point where I had actual bald patches. One at the side with Alexis and then one at the back with Marlo. But looking back on it now, I just wanted to touch on what my verdict is after having children and being a hairdresser and seeing so many different women go through the exact same problem. I feel that when I first became pregnant, I was on folic acid to enhance my chances of being pregnant. And then I went on to the pregnancy vitamin all the way through my pregnancy. And then I had my baby, Alexis, my first child, and totally stopped taking everything. Now, with my second child, I didn't exactly do that. And the reason being is because of this. When you've had a baby, it takes 9 months for you to grow that child inside of you, and your tummy moves up, your ribs separate, your whole body changes in this process. And so does your diet. And when you give birth, you then start to produce the baby's food, the milk. And what we all miss out here is that is a massive strain on your body after having baby. So instead of stopping the folic acid and stopping the pregnancy vitamins with my son, I did carry on for around about 2-3 months. And I didn't have as much hair loss. Like with Alexis, my patch was quite big, but here it was literally just a finger mark, and I could feel it right here in the back of my head. But with Alexis, this side of my hair really fell out. I had quite a big bold patch here. But more to the point, after you've had baby, your body has got to then move back down, all of your organs inside, and everything's got to start to sew and knit back together. And whilst your body's doing this, other areas of your body starve, i.e. your nails, your skin, your hair. You're not having as much sleep, you're not having as much rest. And we all know that when we're looking after ourselves, the number one thing that we do more than anything is rest well and eat well. And if you have good rest and you have a good diet, you feel so much better. But when you first have a baby, it doesn't matter how much food you eat, because you're producing food for the baby and the baby's having that food. And even if you're not breastfeeding, because your body's still making, for a while after, your body is still starved of all of those nutritious things. So imagine you've had the baby now, you stop taking your vitamin and you're feeding this baby. You are literally feeding yourself to this child. Every bit of goodness that's inside of your body is currently being used up to provide food for your baby. And I felt that when I continued with those vitamins, I didn't have as much hair loss. There was definitely a difference between stopping and just breastfeeding and not stopping and breastfeeding. I didn't breastfeed as long with Alexis as what I did Marlo, but that's because I was completely anemic, really low iron. It was just a messy kind of situation. And I was quite low as well after I'd had Alexis. And I don't think that the kind of depression that I had helped either. With girls, with women, we're built up of many different things. And I can honestly say the first thing that always goes when a girl is stressed is either you put on weight, you lose weight, your hair goes crap, your nails are rubbish, you've got spots all over your face, and you just feel a mess. For me, they're the first things that always go. But when you've just had a baby, your body is just fighting back, you know, to heal, because it's been, you know, giving birth, it's you know, happy, sad, it is a traumatic experience, whether it's in a negative or a positive light. It is a traumatic experience, and when your body goes through something like that, I can only imagine how it can affect other parts of your nervous system, and because everything is working at that point to get the baby out, and as soon as that baby comes out, your body starts to do this whole next thing, this whole next madness of science, that you start producing milk. Now, I didn't start producing milk till nearly a week after with Alexis. I used to let her suck on my boob, and then I'd like bottle feed her, so I didn't do it as long with her because of that reason. But with Marlo, 3 days and my milk was in, and this was the reason, the difference of why, was because I used a breast pump from the very beginning, and it brought my milk on rapidly. With Alexis, I never did that, but there wasn't such a thing as an electric breast pump, and if you did, it was something like 200 and something quid, and I'm not spending £200 to pump milk out of my boob. I'm not doing it. And then, because obviously I was just under the illusion that breastfeeding would just be fine, and there was not as much information when I had Alexis as what there is today. So when I had Marlo, that was the difference, and that relieved me. It didn't stress me out like what it did with Alexis, because it came quicker, and it was and that breast pump was doing it the right way, so I had no sore nipples, nothing. And again, stress is one of the main things that will make your hair fall out. And even if you just had a baby and you are on top of the world in your mummy bubble, that sleep deprivation, that feeling of tiredness just wipes you out internally, like mentally. You're exhausted, you remembering what time did you give them their last feed, they need a bath, you need to feed again, you just basically feel like you walk around with your top off all day. And the one thing we all do is we just get our hair and we just put it up. That's all we do, and we just do it and do it and do it and do it, and then we come to the end of the week when we want to wash our hair, because, you know, like, you're thinking, right, that's a good 40-minute job. When am I, you know, the timing's got to be impeccable, you know, unless your partner's there and they can look after the baby. But when you first had a baby, when you hear that baby cry, you instantly just go to the baby. You can't just sit in the other room and do your hair like you used to. Your whole mechanism changes. You give birth and you become a mother, and honestly, it is like such an instant, it was such an instant thing for me. I didn't have any gap. I was like without baby, and then I was a full-fledged mummy. That was me. And that experience was absolutely amazing, but honestly, it's never changed. Even today, my daughter is in senior school, and honestly, I'd still dress her, I think, because it'd be quicker. And the same with my son. Sometimes my son still sleeps with me, but hair loss after giving birth, it is a real thing, and for some women it can be quite severe. For other women it can be quite shocking. It can be a lot of different things, but what it is so normal. But at the same time, the confidence level is not nice when you've first given birth. I feel like, you know, you have baby, you get into like a few days of it and everything is fine and everything is perfect, but you will always go through those rocky little roads along the way. Like the beach turns to like a pebble beach and then it goes back to sand again, and then, you know, but it is normal. Parenting is not easy. Being a woman and giving birth and letting your body heal after is a major part of the job. You know, I was such a novice when I had Alexis. I really didn't, I honestly didn't really have a clue, to be fair, what I was doing, but it did come very natural to me, and that was a really comforting side of the confidence that I had. But I remember lying on the sofa and thinking, yo, my hair's falling out, my boobs are sore, my clothes don't fit me properly, I'm a mess. I'm a mess. I can't believe this. I've got bottles all over the kitchen. You know, he's gone back to work. I'm all over the place. I honestly walked downstairs one day and I thought in my head, this is how tired I was. I'd fed Alexis and it was like tea time. Me and Wayne had sat down, we had tea. And I went upstairs, gave her a bath, and I lay down on the bed and I put her in a Moses basket next to me. I fell to sleep and I was out like a light. And I mean, it must have been just after tea times. We used to have dinner at about 5:30. And so that must have been at about, what, no later than 7 o'clock. And I fell to sleep on the bed and I did not wake up till 11 o'clock the next day. Wayne did all the feeds, he did everything. So I just had to ultimately I had to rest. After a week, I was shocked. I didn't know whether I was coming or going. You know, I'd go into the supermarket and I'd just be like, I don't know what I need. I can't cope. And that's when the list came into it and all of the organisation. And as soon as I got my arse into gear and understood what it was that was happening and what was actually going on, and learned to sleep when my baby slept and not do the washing and, you know, cook 3 meals a day and this, that and the other. With Marlo, I slept. Every time he slept, I lay down and I slept. It was not a joke because, you know, as soon as he was up, I could do stuff. It's like if he fell to sleep on me, then yeah, I would hold him and I would hold him. Obviously, I would hold him. But a lot of the time, I would put him on me and you know, be doing all my cleaning. I never used to do that with Alexis. Alexis used to love being in her bouncer. So, and when you've got one, it's a lot easier to get cleaning done than having two. Alexis was 4 when Marley was born. So imagine having like a reception year 1 and, you know, toys. It was like Smiths up in my house. It was crazy. So yeah, a lot of the time I was just pulling my hair up, putting it on my head. That strain there of just continually wearing your hair scraped up on your head was not doing my hair any good either. I found that I was starting to, you know, really having to pay attention to what it was that was happening with my hair, because it was going super kind of thin. Touch wood, it has stabilised, but my hair's nowhere as thick as what it used to be before I had baby number 1 and baby number 2. As I say, baby number 2 was a bit better because I had to note and switch what I did the first time to get a little bit of a difference. But it was a hard thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I had an amazing birth. Like, that story I will be doing also. But that first week, with both of them, it's crazy. It's wild. It made me second question everything that I thought in my head about being a parent of 1, and then what I thought about being a parent of 2. You think you know, and you just don't know. You just don't know. It's an amazing thing though. I would never change it for the world. But yeah, it did things to my body I never thought it would do. Everything's fine now and I am happy. But you know, it teaches you to be, you know, like grateful of what you've got. Having things taken away from you like that, having your hair come out and your nails snapping off and your skin's all dry and you're so sleep deprivated. And the worst thing is that when you become a mom, nobody can do it better than you can do it. And you know, it kills you to sit there and just let somebody else do it. You feel like you're meant to be the one that's doing everything. And with my second baby, I had to learn that actually it wasn't. You know, I would ask people, when people came around to see me, they'd make me a drink. When I had Alexis, I felt that I needed to make the drink, and got a couple of people would let me, and then other people would be like, no, sit down, you've just had a baby, you know, like, God. I don't feel any way about making the drinks for the people that I did, because that was just like so, as I say, amateur again. Like, I didn't know which foot to put in front of the other. Like, do I move the left twice, or do I move the left once and the right once, or do I move the right twice and the, you know, like, I just didn't know how to move. It took me a while to get my rhythm. But hair loss in pregnancy is a major thing. If you do feel like it's getting too much, do speak to your doctor, speak to anybody about it, and make it known. And try to relax, try and rest, try and eat well, and stay on those vitamins. Don't stop taking those vitamins as soon as you've had baby, because when you start breastfeeding, it strips your body clean of just about any goodness it is that you've got left. So your hair, your nails, your skin, it will suffer. It will have a little bit of a altered effect, because that's just what it is. It's like when you go to give birth and your body just pushes. It's going to happen. Some women are really lucky and it doesn't, but it is very well known throughout women that have children that hair loss is a very renowned thing that happens. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on and just let everybody know that hair loss in pregnancy is real. Thanks for tuning in, guys.